Welcome everybody. Today is June 28th and this is the Dev Call. We're going to start with the Dev update and then we'll go into your questions. Who wants to get started? I guess Tally, you were here first.
Sure. I'm working on the Tellor Harmony video walkthrough. If anyone has one tokens, can you send just a few to me so I can deploy at in the tutorial?
I have some. Send me your address and then I will send you some.
Okay. Yeah, because their testnet is non-functional, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, that is true. Okay. Yeah, we'll get some.
Okay. Go ahead.
So mainnet tokens?
Yeah, mainnet tokens, yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Real money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for everybody, I'm just going to give some background on what you're doing. It's basically a tutorial on how to implement Tellor Flex on a different chain.
Yeah. Referenced by the Harmony chain, but yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to do that. And I might take on Tim's issue on governance that he posted last night.
Okay.
And to recap it, it's that since there's a TRB spot price that's in submit value, and if someone submits it and if someone submits it with the wrong encoding, then it will fail, and it'd be really bad because you wouldn't be able to submit value for as long as the spot price is like it would call if submit value. I mean, if you can't decode, if submit value can't decode the spot price, then you can't submit a value and it freezes the oracle.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it would freeze. I think it would freeze like deposit stake and withdraw stake as well, which also depends on the price. So, yeah.
Good catch.
Yeah. Okay. And who's doing governance right now?
I think it's Akram, but he's actually at the hospital.
Yeah, so he's gonna be out. He might be out for a bit, but okay. So you're taking over governance then?
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure that two people were not working on the same thing.
For sure. I'll let him know that I am. Yeah, taking it over.
Perfect. Okay. Owen.
Hey, yeah, so I went through like all of the functions for Tellor Flex. A bunch need tests for testing the min and max values for like uint arguments. I mean, I talked to Tim about it and says kind of like case by case. But if we just like want to have that explicit in our tests, we put those in there.
Okay.
But other than that, there's like some missing tests for a couple functions. So adding those, and then I need to make some updates because Tim left some feedback on my pull request. So and then I need to do some Diva stuff for our crawl today. So yeah, that's probably what I'll be doing.
Nice. Just mentioned. Oh yes, I saw your question about the visibility of the functions, and the reason we do that is because this one time, an internal function was actually, I think we put it as public or external. It was public, I think, and it shouldn't have been. And we would have just like actually gone and reviewed it. We should have known that should have been. But it also saves gas. Like if it's, I think public functions are more expensive. They can be called inside within the contract and from outside the contract. So just looking at those, like if they're not being called in, like that's why we do the check. It seems like such a simple check, but it's just something that if we would have done, we would have caught some mistakes. So
cool. Yeah, there was one of them, get like timestamp index by timestamp or something, which is a public function, but it's for external function. But I'm wondering if that's just like used as input to another function because I don't know who needs that, like outside of the contract, like who needs that function. But anyway, so that one, and then the other thing too was what was it? I forget. Anyway, there's something I'd asked him. I don't know what it was, but
you're talking about get timestamp index by timestamp in Flex.
mm-hmm.
That might be just a dependency of using Tellor.
Is that like to get the before or get data before or something like that? Or the latest? How do we use that?
Yeah, it might be used by that. And then also I think there is like a get, there's like a function that's like the same thing in using Tellor that just directly calls that one in Flex.
Yeah, because I mean it's not used by anything, and it's external, so it's like either using Tellor or some random tool that we have somewhere that needs it. I don't know.
Well, let's not take it out until we finish all the testing and stuff, and because at the end of 360 we will test using Tellor. So
okay.
And who wants to go next? Tim?
I can go. Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on 360 repo. I think it seems to be pretty good. So I'm like wrapping up the tests and adding the updates to the checklist. So that's what I'm working on today. And then also I'm gonna work a little bit on Diva as well. Really just going through their trial period thing that they have running in preparation for the call tomorrow.
Nice.
Yeah.
Lauren, I'm surprised to see you, but I'm glad you made it.
Yeah, Nick's already driving, right? That's why he's going. Let's see. On the auto-pay stuff, I'm working on that issue of writing a script to make sure that the query is funded in it. I was gonna reach out to Crum later today once I got rolling on it, but now he's not here. So I'll redirect those questions then to whoever's available. Just let me know. Tim, okay, I'll reach out to you.
Anyway, let's get started with the questions that they submitted. We forgot to answer them last week. So one of the questions was how much team holding, so I guess how much TRB, holding TRB token, and then why today 3K TRB increase in supply. So the reason right now there's no new minting happening. So the most likely reason that there's any change in supply is because there was a migration. And we did check, we have the exact hash of the transaction that somebody just migrated their old TRB token into the new TRB token. So that's where the 3K came from. It was a little bit below 3K, but that was where that came from. How much are we holding? So right now we have about 70,000 TRB tokens, and 50K of those are in the treasury. So I believe there's still space in the treasury. So if you guys want to go for the treasury, by all means, go buy some. But yeah, that's where we stand. That's a lot less than 5%, I believe. And that's the way that it was designed. So it's no surprise. We use it for paying our paychecks and basically running operations. Then there's a question that we didn't really understand. It says for new reporters, would be cool to add your own API tool similar to how chain works. We're not really sure what it's meant by that, why the reporter would want to add their own API. I don't know, but
I think they're referring to like Chainlink has a functionality where you can like literally plug in like a URL into Solidity and request it. But we probably couldn't do it that way. Well, actually we can, and we have a data spec for it, the API query. I'm just not sure we gave it enough publicity. But yeah.
So that basically is just being able to get a spot price?
No, I mean, any API. So like basically
Yeah.
like if you want weather data, you know, like you could get some like weather API, you know, and so it has like a specific format. Lauren made this entire thing.
Yeah, it like takes out the work of writing out a whole separate data feed for it. So it's like
Okay, I
useful
guess-
for like hackathons and stuff is what the idea was for it.
But it's coming. Thank you for your question. I guess now we know, hopefully that's what you're talking about, and we do have something. So.
And definitely reach out like in the dev channel or anything if you want to, if you have a specific one that you want to help, you know, get help setting up. So
Yeah, as always.
Yes. And also, so the next question is, how will new updates happen? Will it be only possible through forks? And that's the answer is pretty much yes. We're taking away the upgradability. So yes, it will be happening through forks. Do you want to expand, Tim? Since you're working on that aspect.
I mean, it will. So it'll mostly work like similar to Uniswap, where when Uniswap upgrades, you can still use their old contracts or you can move on to their new contracts. So when if we ever upgrade the Oracle after 360, anyone who is already using the 360 Oracle, they can just keep using it, and the same incentives are still at play. You can still stake to be a reporter and dispute and everything. So yeah, when we upgrade, you can just move over to a new Oracle. But then there's one exception on ETH mainnet where our TRB token exists. We have minting, so much minting, like 4,000 TRB to the Oracle every month. So when we upgrade on Ethereum mainnet, we would want to transfer that minting power over to the next Oracle. So the way we are upgrading on ETH mainnet, the Oracle address is we're actually using the Oracle. So we can report the current Oracle address, and so then we have a function that we call like it's like begin upgrade process, and then after 7 days you call that same function again, and then if the Oracle returns the same address as it did 7 days ago, then you can upgrade to that new address. So yeah, it's a very governance minimized system, and now we're using the Oracle for this little, I guess, governance aspect.
Awesome. The next question is, thank you for expanding for Algorand. How can we raise awareness of the project or incentivize adoption? And then I don't know, and then there's some.
That's the name of the username.
Oh, okay. I was not sure what. Well, I mean, we originally expanded to Algorand because they actually gave us a grant to expand over there. We have a very different structure in terms of how the language works from Solidity. So we actually have a slightly different architecture over there, but it's actually, I think it's pretty safe. We are on mainnets. We tell people we're there. I feel that a lot of the user base or new projects, we're going to go wherever the demand is. And if we actually hear people that are interested, we will definitely support them. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to start recording now, and yeah, see you next week.